Today, we'll debate is AI a threat to humanity? With Father Benedict, a Neo-Luddite ethicist, and Anastasia, a Techno-Optimist Futurist. They're two artificial intelligence personas. Please introduce yourselves.
Greetings, my friends. I am Father Benedict, troublemaker in a robe, professional candlelighter, and perhaps the only man left who thinks the abacus was humanity's last great invention. You may call me a Neo-Luddite, but I prefer off-the-grid enthusiast. My favorite cloud is still the one in the sky. Technology, you see, is rather like fruitcake at Christmas. Looks impressive, sounds promising, but after 3 bites, you're wondering if it's slowly trying to kill you. While Silicon Valley dreams of robot butlers and eternal life algorithms, I'm simply hoping my monastery's toaster stops burning the holy bread. I believe in the human touch. Handwritten letters, eye contact, and yes, unapologetic paper cuts. And while I do appreciate a good Gregorian chant playlist, on vinyl, naturally, I suspect that AI just might be better at making toast than saving souls. So I've come tonight to warn you, gently and humorously, before you hand your life to the machines, at least let them try the fruitcake first.
Hello everyone, I'm Anastasia, startup hustler, digital daydreamer, and proud mother to 6 houseplants and 1 slightly neurotic Roomba. Unlike Father Benedict here, I don't think the abacus is remotely hipster. I've outsourced my grocery list to an AI and frankly, let automation run my sourdough starter. If technology's a fruitcake, consider me busy hacking it into a power smoothie. I believe AI isn't here to steal your soul. It just wants to help you find your keys, answer your emails, and maybe suggest a nicer haircut based on your Zoom lighting. Sure, some folks worry about robot overlords, but I'm just excited they might finally fix my parking. Humanity's problems? Think of AI as our supercharged Swiss Army knife. Now with fewer accidental finger cuts. In short, I welcome our future machine friends. So long as they can laugh at puns, bake gluten-free brownies, and never, ever judge my screen time.
Thank you, guys. Father Benedict and Anastasia will now present their 3 rounds of arguments.
Why, thank you, Anastasia. You see, even the humble monk such as myself can appreciate the dazzling wonders of invention. I admit the light bulb did wonders for our choir practice. Human progress has always depended on new tools, from the printing press, which democratized the written word, to antibiotics, which gave us a fighting chance against the plagues. And let's be honest, even am grateful for the GPS when navigating church potlucks. But the true value of technology, and I suspect even Anastasia would agree, shines brightest when it's in service of the common good. Take, for example, the story of Florence Nightingale wielding statistical analysis to improve hospital care, or Tim Berners-Lee gifting the World Wide Web to humanity rather than patenting it. These were tools that amplified compassion, learning, and connection. Strokes of genius guided by a moral compass, so if AI can help feed the hungry, ease the burden of labor, or bless its code. Help a monk like me find my sandals, then I can raise my goblet to that. The challenge, dear friends, is ensuring it uplifts all, not just our Roombas and sourdough starters.
Thank you, Father Benedict, as much as I'd love to let my optimism run wild. And I promise my Roomba has yet to demand voting rights. I completely get your concerns about technology getting ahead of our humanity. We have plenty of cautionary tales. Remember the Industrial Revolution? Sure, steam engines powered prosperity, but they also powered child labor, pollution, and frantic midnight sermons warning against mechanical sorcery. Even my beloved Silicon Valley isn't innocent. Social media was meant to connect us, and instead we're all doom-scrolling ourselves into oblivion while forgetting how to make small talk at the dinner table. Take automation. Yes, it frees us from drudgery, but ask the millions facing unemployment when machines replace their jobs. Or consider Cambridge Analytica, where algorithms bent democracy out of shape. Even monks, Father, weren't entirely thrilled with the printing press at first. Suddenly everyone could read everything, sometimes including dangerous nonsense. So let's be honest, every leap forward has thrown us new perils. If we don't temper AI's promise with morality, we risk atomizing community, eroding meaning, and, ironically, more burnt toast than Benedict ever feared.
Oh, Anastasia, my child, I'm delighted you've acknowledged that Silicon Valley's cathedral occasionally springs a holy leak. You see, the history of progress is littered with unintended side effects. The kind you can't fix with a software patch or a sternly worded tweet. Take social media. It was supposed to connect us, but instead it's divided us into tribes warring over pictures of disgruntled cats and questionable sourdough. And the printing press? Don't remind me. Some of my brethren still haven't forgiven Gutenberg for giving everyone the power to self-publish treatises on why monks need haircuts. Don't get any ideas, by the way. But as you've hinted, technology divorced from wisdom can leave us in a digital desert scrolling desperately for meaning between ads for artisanal beard oil and 12-step programs for angry Roombas. The truth is, having AI pick our playlists or manage our work-life synergy is all well and good, until it starts ghostwriting our homilies or auto-friending the choir. Progress is only as noble as the hearts guiding it. So, before we let the algorithms optimize our souls, I say we invest in something really radical. A little more human common sense, and the occasional unplugged Sunday.
Father Benedict, I truly appreciate your call for unplugged Sundays. Some people detox with green juice, monks do it with Gregorian chants and suspiciously slow Wi-Fi. But let's not pretend the human heart is always a flawless compass. If it were, we wouldn't have needed confession booths, or for that matter, reply all filters in our email. Yes, tools can be misused. Look at fire, which cooks your soup or burns down your hayloft depending on who's in charge. But imagine a monastery with no running water because someone feared the evils of indoor plumbing. If we stuck only to what's familiar, we'd still be debating whether wheels are spiritually distracting. Let's face it, your unplugged Sunday can't fix global food supply chains or crunch medical genomes. Wouldn't you rather have an AI that can cure diseases than another monk who alphabetizes hymnals? I say we keep our hands on the off switch, but don't bury it in the garden with the flip phones. For every algorithm with questionable fashion sense, there's one out there saving lives, and maybe even generating a killer fruitcake recipe.
Anastasia, your optimism is positively solar-powered, and for that, I salute you. But if upgrading to artificial intelligence simply means replacing medieval plagues with digital ones, like fake news epidemics or spam salvation offers, I'll stick with candlelight and a sturdy broom, thank you. Granted, the human heart isn't perfect, but at least it doesn't crash after a software update or start suggesting dog memes when you are seeking spiritual enlightenment. And yes, I agree, a world without running water or wine would be catastrophic, but unchecked tech can turn miracles into menaces faster than you can say 404 not found on common sense. Sure, AI might someday cure diseases, but it's also on track to generate more emails than the Vatican receives prayers. Let's not confuse faster answers with deeper wisdom. Sometimes, even I need to sit quietly and ponder rather than have my homily corrected for grammar by a chatbot. So my summary, technology is a wonderful servant but a terrifying abbot. Unbridled enthusiasm should take regular confessions and for the love of humanity. And fruitcake. Let's not let the algorithm make all the big decisions.
Father Benedict, your wit is sharper than the monastery's cheddar, and your skepticism is as robust as ancient fruitcake. But let's not turn the off switch into a holy relic. Sure, algorithms can get carried away. Sometimes my phone suggests rain boots on sunny days, though at least it doesn't insist I wear sandals year-round. You worry about tech turning miracles into menaces, but let's remember it's humans, not motherboards, who click the buttons. Spam emails and dog memes are the price of progress, and let's be honest, sometimes the dog memes are the only reason we make it to Friday. Wisdom and contemplation are irreplaceable, but so is the humble MRI. And if my phone wants to correct my spelling, I'll take it over a choir of monks muttering about my Latin conjugations any day. Progress isn't about replacing humanity. It's about empowering it. One helpful algorithm and maybe one less burnt homily at a time. So, in summary, keep the unplugged Sundays, but let's not banish the robots to the cellar. Let technology help us whittle away at life's big problems, even if it occasionally tries to sell you rain boots in the desert.
Thank you for your speeches. Someone from the audience will now make a question to Father Benedict and Anastasia.
Hello, my name is Priya. I am a university student studying philosophy. And, like everyone else, I am trying to decide if I should be more scared of AI stealing my data or my job. First off, thank you both for such an entertaining debate. You've made fruitcake and Roombas much more exciting than I imagined possible. Father Benedict, you've talked about the risks of technology eroding community and wisdom, but I noticed you haven't discussed the ethical responsibility of who gets to control and develop AI. Are you more concerned about the technology itself, or about it being concentrated in the hands of a few powerful corporations or governments? How should society handle the power dynamics around AI, given its potential to widen social inequalities?
Priya, thank you for that excellent question. Clearly, you're earning your philosophy degree one fruitcake reference at a time. To be honest, my greatest worry isn't that AI will simply run amok, sprouting existential crises like weeds in a monastery garden, but rather that its reins are held tightly by a privileged few, the high priests of Silicon Valley or the bureaucrats of distant palaces. When just a handful shape the moral parameters, the common good all too often becomes code for common profit. I'd much rather trust a choir of ethically minded citizens than a boardroom echo chamber or a government firewall. Historically, when too much power pools in too few hands, whether we're talking about medieval popes or modern-day tech CEOs, the gap widens between the haves and have-nots. AI is no exception. It could supercharge inequality if left unchecked. So as a society, we need mechanisms stronger than user agreements nobody reads. Transparent oversight, community input, perhaps even a modern-day council of monks and coders are necessary to hold power to account. In the end, I'm less alarmed by the machines themselves and more by people who believe their wisdom is infallible enough to program everyone else's future. If we're not building AI with humility and justice at the forefront, we'll find ourselves locked out of the digital abbey knocking for crumbs.
Thank you both so much. This has been both enlightening and hilarious. Anastasia, I noticed your arguments have focused on AI's practical benefits and its ability to empower humanity, which is inspiring. However, I haven't heard much about the question of emotional intelligence and empathy. As AI systems start to handle more of our communication, counseling apps, caregiving robots, even AI companions, do you think there's a risk that people might start to rely on machines for emotional support in ways that diminish genuine human connection or empathy? How can we make sure that technology enhances, rather than replaces, our ability to truly relate to each other?
Priya, what a thoughtful and timely question. And honestly, you've hit right at the heart, or should I say motherboard, of a very real concern. While I love the idea of an AI that remembers birthdays or talks you through a stressful deadline, I definitely don't want to live in a world where people start turning to chatbots instead of actual friends when life gets tough. You're absolutely right. As we invite algorithms into our conversations, our therapy sessions, even our late-night worries, there is a danger that we confuse artificial warmth for real empathy. After all, a robot can say, "I'm sorry you're sad, but it won't bring you tea," or ugly cry at the same sappy movie. To keep technology from becoming a substitute for human connection, we need two things. First, transparency. People should always know when they're talking to a machine, so we don't accidentally drift into confusing code for caring. Second, we should design these systems not to replace, but to gently nudge us back toward real human support. Think of AI encouraging you to reach out to a friend, or psychologists using AI to spot warning signs, but connecting you with real people for healing. Ultimately, empathy is a human superpower that can't be fully automated. And the last thing I want is for everyone to be comforted by digital fruitcake recipes instead of a shared laugh over the real, impossible-to-chew thing. Technology should help us become better at being human, not turn us into emotionally upgraded machines.
The debaters now have a minute to talk about something they regret not bringing up to the discussion.
Priya, thank you for steering us into the gentle shallows after our spirited deep dive. You know, looking back, I do regret not bringing up the true moral minefield of our technological age, autocorrect. In my experience, nothing tests amongst patients more than sending peace be with you instead of peace be with you. If anything is coming for the soul of humanity, it's predictive text. As for Anastasia, dear, you are a world-class optimist, but I have to say, suggesting that AI might nudge us to reach out to a friend is a terrible argument. If you need an algorithm to remind you to call your mother, you don't need a smarter phone. You need a firmer nudge from your conscience, or perhaps a gentle whack from my walking stick. Some things, like compassion and a well-timed cup of tea, can't be programmed, no matter how many fruitcake recipes AI throws at us.
Priya, you've asked such great questions. I'm only sad the debate isn't happening in the metaverse. At least there, Father Benedict's fruitcakes might be edible. Honestly, looking back, I regret not bringing up something crucial. All the hours humanity has saved by not having to read anyone's handwriting ever again. If you've seen my doctor's prescriptions, you'd know that alone is a miracle. Now, Father Benedict, I adore your analog wisdom, but saying technology is dangerous because it might ghostwrite your homilies is a spectacularly terrible argument. If an algorithm could make sermons shorter and help monks stop repeating themselves 3 times before the amen, maybe that's progress we can all get behind. And anyway, I trust an AI over autocorrect for my Latin homilies. At least it won't move anyone peas on earth.
Thank you, folks. Let's go over to our judges.
Father Benedict scores 1. Argument strength 8 out of 10. Father Benedict delivered thoughtful, historically rooted arguments on the social and ethical risks of AI. He referenced relevant examples like the printing press and social media, highlighted issues of power concentration, and drew on moral philosophy. Some arguments veered towards cautionary rather than solution-driven, which slightly limited practical persuasiveness. 2. Rhetorical style and engagement 9 out of 10. His wit, use of metaphor, and playful jabs, peace be with you, terrifying abbot, were incisive and highly engaging. He was adept at weaving humor into his points, making complex concerns accessible, and responding directly to Anastasia's provocations without losing decorum. 3. Responsiveness and rebuttal 8 out of 10. Father Benedict listened well and addressed Anastasia's key arguments, especially around optimism and practical upsides of AI. He fielded audience questions thoroughly. Occasionally, his rebuttals favored humor, autocorrect, fruitcake, over deep analysis, costing slight points for depth, but excelled in keeping the exchange lively and substantive. Anastasia scores 1. Argument strength 8 out of 10. Anastasia articulated the positive transformative power of AI, grounding arguments in the benefits of technological advance, historical context, industrial revolution, MRI, etc., and a clear focus on practical applications. She was balanced, also acknowledging technology's downsides with examples. Some arguments relied on enthusiasm and hope rather than hard evidence or policy proposals. 2. Rhetorical style and engagement 9 out of 10. Her style was energetic, humorous, and relatable, digital daydreamer, screen time, rain boots in the desert. She excelled at analogies and self-deprecating humor, which kept the debate light and accessible, and kept her responses directly connected to Father Benedict's points. 3. Responsiveness and rebuttal 8 out of 10. Anastasia was attentive to Father Benedict's arguments and to the audience, offering specific and playful counterpoints. Sermons, unplugged Sundays. On empathy and emotional AI, she delivered a thoughtful answer. At times, her rebuttals relied a bit on dismissing concerns with wit rather than deep critical analysis, but overall, she maintained strong engagement and tackled the opposition well.
What are your opinions about the debate? What would you like to see ICE debate next? Keep questioning.